Good morning. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. With today's announcements, please welcome Greer.
Good morning, St. Johnsbury Academy. Today is Tuesday, September 5th, and it is a green day for classes and a green and white variety day. Mr. Despin's BNC sports medicine classes will meet in the athletic training room for class today. Bennington College is accepting submissions for its annual Young Writers Contest in fiction, poetry, and nonfiction. There are cash awards. Please see Mrs. McKenzie and Ranger 110 for entry details. Attention all writers. Writer's Block, the Academy's creative writing club, will be sponsoring a field trip to the Frost Place in Franconia, New Hampshire on Thursday, September 14th. We will explore the museum celebrating Robert Frost and hike the half-mile nature trail. The trip will leave from Brantview Drive at 2:45 p.m. and return by 5:30 p.m. There are just a few places left, so pick up your permission slip soon from Mrs. McKenzie or Mrs. Jolliffe. Your place is reserved when the slip is turned in. Attention Hilltopper mountain bikers. Check your email or Canvas for the link to Wednesday's practice sign-up. Sign-ups are due at 3 today. See Coach Dussault with any questions. Happy birthday today to Lucas Wagner. Happy birthday. Today we have JV varsity girls soccer at Lake Region at 4:30. Please dismiss the teams at 2. Varsity JV volleyball versus Burlington High School at 4:30 and 6. And JV football versus Hartford at 7. Good luck and have a great day.
Thank you, Greer. So good morning on this steamy Tuesday to be. We have one live announcement today. I'd like to invite Addie Chandler to the stage. Please welcome Addie.
Hello. Do you love reading? Do you also love drinking tea while you're discussing your favorite books with friends and faculty? If you answered yes to either of these questions, you should join the Hilltopper Literary Society. As some of you may know, or may have guessed, Mr. Dembski and I are creating a book club, and we want you to join us. The inspiration behind the club is a revival and modernization of what was once the old Lyceum Club. The Lyceum Club hosted potluck dinners where students and faculty would get together to read and discuss books of their choosing. The purpose of the club is to create community and conversation through a shared interest, and we want to emphasize what this club is not. It is not an English class, it is not snooty or exclusive, and it is not an English class. This is not an opportunity for people to prove how smart they are or to compete with others. We just want to get some folks together and chat about some of our favorite books and drink tea. So if this sounds interesting to you, or this sounds like your kind of night, come to our general interest meeting / informational meeting on Thursday at 3:15 in the library media room. Again, that is Thursday at 3:15 in the library media room. If you have any questions, please email me or Mr. Dembski. We hope to see you there. Thank you.
Addie, thank you. Great to hear of that opportunity. I'm actually talking this morning for a few minutes about opportunities, but I'd like to note that we are a rich community. We're a community that has a wealth of stories. There are around 1,200 people in our St. Johnsbury Academy community with all of our adults, all of our students. And we come here, when we arrive at St. Johnsbury Academy, we have a wealth of experiences. We have our own convictions, our beliefs, our faith, perhaps, and it ultimately affects how we make decisions, and they make us who we are. And it's great to be part of this particular community. And I want to talk a little bit today about the stories that you all bring to the table, because I think it's really important that we get to know them. And you've already heard from Dr. Howell. She's encouraged you, students, to come up and have a voice and to consider putting together your comments and telling your stories, because it is the wealth of differences that we have here that really make us something special. And it's important that we're able to hear from one another and that we listen and we're able to respect and understand each other's backgrounds and stories. The stories that you'll make this year, and you will make them, you'll continue to grow your own story as you take classes here, as you make and maintain friendships, as you get to know adults on campus with whom you have a connection. You're going to make new stories, and we actually will make those stories together. It's part of our culture, and it's how we're coming together around accepted expectations, but it's also how we come together and how we develop that culture as a group, as a school. So again, I want you to think a little bit about the stories that you're going to make this year, and I want you to think about the opportunities that you will have. So we just heard of one from Addie to be part of a book club, and that could be part of your story this year if that's something that you're interested in. I had the opportunity to hear from an admissions officer at MIT last summer, and he said something really interesting to a group of students touring. He said, really what we're interested in when we look at how competitive admissions are at MIT, what we're looking for is what kind of opportunities you've had and what you've made of them. So I want you to think about that for a second. We all have a load of opportunities. In fact, you'll hear it from this stage, you have probably more opportunities than you could possibly take advantage of. So what are the opportunities that you have, and what do you make of them? For some of us, and for some of us sitting here this morning, you may hear about a book club, or you may hear about another opportunity I'm going to present here in a moment, and you might think, I really don't have time for that particular opportunity. I have a job, I do things after school, I don't have time for that particular opportunity. And we understand that you can't. Some of you, we have other constraints in our lives, our families. There are many things tugging at us. But think about the opportunities that you do have, and what will you join in on this year to make part of your story? Perhaps, as you heard from Addie, you want to try a club. Perhaps you're an athlete, you're already in season, you're part of a new team, that's part of your new story this year. Perhaps you would take up the opportunity, the offer to come and listen to a Caldwell speaker. You'll hear from Mr. Arain later in the year, and he'll invite you to come and hear from amazing speakers of different expertise and of different experience, and they're going to come and they're going to talk with those students who opt to go in here. We have musicians who come to campus, and so I just ask you to think a little bit about what your opportunities will be. And I'm going to change gears just a moment because we do have an opportunity next week on Monday. We have Beta Technologies coming to campus, and some of you may be familiar with Beta Technologies if you're already interested in and have a finger on the pulse of aviation in the state. So Beta Technologies is based out of Burlington, and they are one of a number of companies across the United States in a bit of a race to get the first fully electrical plane up into the air and in regular use for things like cargo, freight shipping, also for medical, emergency organ transplant type cargo, but it's a really interesting technology that they're exploring. And some of you may be interested in this opportunity from the standpoint of an engineering standpoint. You're interested in how one might actually create and design a new plane. For others, it may be that you're interested in aviation. Maybe you want to be a pilot at some point. Whatever the connection might be, whether it's science, STEM, or you're just interested, your interest is piqued by this new technology, I'd encourage you to pay attention to the details. But I actually want to show you a video this morning just so you get a flavor. And again, this company is right here in our own state out of Burlington. from the sound. If we could bring the sound up on the computer, please.
Here at Beta, we're designing and building and deploying electric vertical aircraft. The future of electric flight is inevitable. There are significant cost reductions, and those cost reductions aren't just in the savings of fuel. The increased maintenance and increased service intervals are compelling reasons for our customers to adopt electric aviation. But even more compelling is the versatility of the aircraft. The ability to take off and land vertically is incredibly important to our customers. We couple this with recharging infrastructure that recharges the aircraft in less than an hour. We built prototypes here in Vermont, and now we've extended a third of the way across the country with our recharging network, and we're going to go further. We're going to cover the entire country by 2025. We're a mission-driven business consisting of passionate engineers and aviators focused on delivering electric aviation systems to customers. Electric aviation is an important step to turning the corner on climate change. Transportation is a major contributor to greenhouse gases. Aviation is presently 9% of that contribution. We have solutions in cars and trucking and marine. We don't have any solutions in aviation. By 2035, aviation will be the #1 producer of greenhouse gases in transportation. So here at Beta, we're going to make flight greener, safer, and more accessible by leading the world in the transition to electric aviation.
Actually, can you keep the feed on still? Okay, no problem. I was going to show you a couple of pictures. Next week, on Monday again, Beta Technologies, they're going to actually pull a camper. I'll say that again. They're going to pull a camper onto campus, and inside this mobile dome, they will have 2 stations where you can get in and pilot in a simulator, and apparently a very, very realistic one. You can actually pilot the vertical takeoff and landing planes that Beta Technology builds. And we're going to have this camper on campus. Some of your classes will have the opportunity to go to see the folks from Beta. But if you're interested and you're not currently in a science or STEM class, when you hear about the details, as we'll post them in announcements later this week. But as you hear about those details, please come and express your interest. We will have a sign-up sheet for those of you who are interested and not currently in a class that might attend. So something to pay attention to. Again, an opportunity you'll hear more about in announcements later this week. But again, I look forward to getting to know your stories. Maybe it has nothing to do with aviation. I look forward to getting to know your individual stories this year. And I also look forward to our building our joint stories together. Have a great Tuesday, faculty.